Alright, kiddos, so the next thing I'm going to do is just show you a little bit more in detail how to do this. You're working from a photo, which you haven't really done before. So how would you want to break this up? Well, considering that this is going to become an illustration, we got to kind of keep in mind that we are going to be having dark outlines, and you got to think about where you want those outlines to be. You're going to be working with multiple layers and different objects and elements. So this is a much easier one than the shoe that I did. But I still think it'll be useful to watch just kind of my process. So the very first thing I want to do is set up my layers, and I'm going to go ahead and lock my other layers, which is the shoes. So let me just go ahead and create a new layer. And I should have done this at the beginning. I'm going to go ahead and lock this, which is going to be my shirt image. So this is like this is the photograph of the shirt. I'm locking it. So now I can't move it or do anything like that. So I'll make a new layer and I'll just say shirt drawing. Sorry, it's not a shirt, is it? It's a jacket, but whatever. You get the idea. Okay, so now I'm ready to begin. Here's the kind of things I want to consider. This object right here, and I call it an object because it's a different color, is going to be sitting on top of this object. This little circle right here and this little circle right here. Those are separate. I kind of want to keep those all completely separate from the inside object, which is the outline of the shirt. So I'm actually going to ignore those for now. And I'm going to go around here. Now, you'll notice that there's like these little ruffles and stuff. And if you want to make it jagged, you can. But you can also, since this is an illustration, and I want to go down here because I want to leave room for that black part. Since this is an illustration, you can always make it more flat than it actually is. That's okay. The purpose of an illustration is to give the sense of the object, not to, otherwise we might as well just go off the photo. It's supposed to kind of give you the style of the object, and it's a little bit more symmetrical than reality. Now remember, you'll notice, like, let's just look at this line right here, and some students I think are still struggling with this. Oops. Come on, keyboard. All right. Because I have this line down here, because I curved this, if I were to click right here now, it's going to curve down. So remember, when that happens, you have to click on the previous anchor to delete that future anchor point. Oops. Man, this keyboard is it's just not very responsive because it's wireless. So anyway, okay, so I'm going to click, I don't know, about there. And not a lot of clicks are required. You really want to just, whenever there's like a new change in the direction, probably should have gone a little bit back here. I didn't see that. And then here, okay. Now it's a corner, so I'm gonna click and hold on. Come on, spacebar, you can do it. There we go. Okay. And maybe I'll just go straight in here. Honestly, it's not really that important that I hit all those little ruffles and stuff. Click to get rid of, and stop here and here and here. And then let me take my opacity, which would be under this one, and just pull it down a little bit. There we go. Now, I don't need to go back up to the top. I know some students will think that they have to go up to here to get that edge, but no, it's fine. I'm just going to do the outline right now. And I'm only doing the outline of the main object. So I'll just go straight down here. I'm not going to worry about those little ruffles. Nice little curve right here, pointing this way. I'm also not going to do that little thing at the bottom. I think I'm going to make that a separate object, so I'm just going to ignore it. I'm going to go here. And I'm going to give myself room to have that little gap there, so I'll just go up and back down. It doesn't matter what that looks like because I'm going to be covering it up with something else. Let me come to here, get a nice little curvy, and into here, etc. So I'm going to pause the video right now, and I'm going to come back after I finish that so you don't have to keep watching me. Okay, I'm done, and I'm going to go ahead and just go back to my transparency and bring the opacity back up to 100%. And let me just pull it aside. And right now it's white, so let me just pick a color. Remember, you're going to be doing your own thing here. So I've been kind of going with this whole electric blue thing, so I don't know. I'll just stick with that. Be a little bit more mindful than I am, I suppose. But didn't quite get enough blue there. That's weird. I'm not looking like I must have done something wrong because this is not turning out color. I don't know. Sometimes this program can be kind of strange. That's all I'll say. There we go. And just pull the saturation down just a bit. A little bit more. Kind of a grayish. Okay, cool. I'm going to give it a stroke because this is an illustration and we want to have a kind of a, more of a cartoony look than we would with a photograph. That looks good. I'm pretty happy with that. There's a few lines I want to probably put in here. That one right there, as well as this sleeve. So I'll probably just get my pen tool out and just go here to here, curve, let go, and enter. That's all I have to do. And I'm going to move that one here. Before I do that, get rid of the fill. And I'll just take this stroke and put it right there. You can make it thicker or thinner depending on the look you are going for, but I would say that's not bad. And I'll just do the same thing over on this side. From here to here. And enter. And pull it over. If it doesn't quite match up, remember I'm just using the arrow keys to kind of pull it around. And using the direct selection tool, this is kind of a cool little trick. You can click on any single anchor point, use the arrow keys to move it around a little bit. And I found out recently you can actually click on the line itself. And by using the arrow keys, you can actually increase or decrease the bend of it. I'm just using the left arrow key right now. So, just kind of a handy little way to move things around. That looks good, I think. So I'm definitely starting to get the feel of the jacket. Now I'll just go ahead and create this little object right here, which is the zipper. And I'll just go ahead and make it completely vertical and horizontal by using the shift key. Basically, it's just going to be a really long rectangle. And I'll fill that in. I don't know, what's a cool color that would go with this? I'll just stay with my black theme. And voila. You know, not very creative. I'm sure you guys are going to come up with some better stuff than me, but stick that right around there. And I'm actually going to give it a little bit of a stroke that is going to be a different color than black. So let me say kind of a light blue. And let's go about 2 pixels on that, just to kind of give it that outline. I think that that's a little bit too bright, so let me just, oops. Double click on the stroke and just tone it down a bit. Yeah, and that's the kind of fun stuff that happens in Illustrator. Let's try that again. I gotta say the newer version of Illustrator is a lot easier to work with. And, oh, I got a couple of weird issues here with these points. So I will probably just take my direct selection tool, grab those 2 dots, holding down shift to click both, and just move it around with the arrow keys. And the bottom, that's probably fine. Maybe I'll, I don't know, widen it out a little bit just to cover up that stuff behind it. I could always just click on that and just, there we go. So, yeah, that looks cool. I got my zipper. If you wanted to give it some texture so it actually had a zipper pattern or something like that, there are, oh man, I'm telling you, this keyboard is really fun to work with. Okay, you could try playing around with patterns, and we have some options for that. If we go to our effects, I don't know, I'm not going to spend too much time on it right now, but you could play around with these and maybe get some sort of effect that you could use. I'll go more into that details of that later. But let's say you create a few more lines. You want to create that little thing at the bottom here and those little sleeve things. But let's say you're ready to move on to the shading and you want to give this thing a cool effect to make it look like it's got edges and stuff. It's going to be really tricky for this object. I might have been better off making each sleeve individually and sticking them together. In fact, I know for a fact I would have. So let's see what happens when we try to use the mesh tool. So let me just click here. Yeah, I'm getting some pretty funky stuff. It's trying to form around it and it's going up like that. It might end up working out. Let's try another one there. And another one, I don't know, here. Yeah, let's try one more. Yeah. So if you wanted to, you could take the time to try to make these align a little bit better with the contours. I find this tool to do some really weird stuff that I honestly just don't understand. So it probably didn't really work out. Going back through this the second time, I would have done each sleeve separately, and that would have given me a lot more options to work with this tool. As it is, we'll just say it's good enough, and I don't know. Let me just give this thing a little bit of depth. Let me pull this one over a little. And I'm going to do that by, I'll just click on this one. And I'm going to go to my swatches, and let me just get a lighter color. Like, I don't know. Click on an anchor, and click on a color. And yeah, and I've had this problem before too. Sometimes I have to deselect it. Get back on with the mesh tool. Click on a point. And yeah, there it is. It's still not working. Let me do it. It actually, I've noticed that if I double click on here and do it once this way, for some reason now it works. I don't know. This is an older version. I gotta assume it's just a glitch, but who knows. I actually would rather have those shines though on the edges. So let me try that again with this. Maybe the easiest way is just to go up here, change this mode. This is my color palette. I'll just change it to HSB. Hue, saturation, balance, and just pull the balance up a little bit. That gives it a nice little shine. And yeah, you'll notice the sleeves are totally weird and messed up, so there's a lesson learned. Do each sleeve individually if you plan on using the mesh tool. If you don't plan on using the mesh tool, you don't really need to worry about this, but it does give it a little bit more of a 3D look. It's kind of cool. I like what it did to it. If you ignore the fact that the arms look messed up, I think the actual body of it looks pretty cool. And then I just have all these little, lines going across it just to make it look more like a jacket. So I would probably just take that, hit enter, and you can experiment with the colors a little bit. You don't want to fill in these, so let me just switch, and then I don't know. Let's try gray. And just stick that all the way down to the bottom. I definitely want a darker gray than that. It's not coming out like I wanted, so just try that. Yeah, that'll do. And I probably should do the same thing with these two colors. So I'll just hold down shift to select both of them. And let's just pick a slightly less gray. Yeah. So I'd keep doing that with the different stitchings and stuff from here to here, and I'll just put a little curve on it like that. Hit enter, and actually you don't even have to hit enter. I think you just deselect it, and that'll work. And just stick that one here. Not quite long enough, so I'll just stretch it out a little bit and just throw a few of those on there. Now, holding down Alt key, I'm just gonna throw one there, holding the Alt key, throw one there, so I don't really have to be too careful. I could resize these and stuff. But because this is an illustration, you should have some symmetry. You should have some identical objects like this. Stretch them out so that they all fit. And then I want to go underneath the zipper with that, so I'm just going to go to my layers now. Uncollapse this and find the zipper, which I can use these eyeballs to help me find it. It's going to be lower. Not that one. There it is. So I'll just take the zipper and just stick it to the top. It's probably the easiest way. Alright, so yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way that's coming. I'm not going to make you guys watch any more today, but I will come back with this tomorrow and show you what I've done with it. Good luck. Can't wait to see you guys come up with.